Welcome to another live stream, another uMoya hour. And this is Tracking Nature, Tracking Spirit. And it's dedicated to my young friend, my young sangoma friend, who recently had his house badly damaged by a thunderstorm. So I'm doing a fundraiser today to help him rebuild his life. And it's very important work for me because my friend is a traditional sangoma and he's keeping these old ways alive. And every year I spend a number of months working with him and he passes this knowledge on to me and then I pass it on to you. So please be generous and know that as you give, so the universe, so nature also gives to you. Okay, so today's live stream is very close to my heart because it's about nature. Everything we do is about nature. Even if we're not aware of nature, nature is aware of us. So connecting with nature is primarily about us connecting with ourselves. We have our own inner nature, so that's our heartbeats, our spirit, our soul. And then we have the outer nature, as you see here with this beautiful image. And the two come together. And nowadays there's a revival in mindfulness meditation. And sometimes people come to me and they say they're struggling with their meditation. And I always say to them, close your eyes, listen to your heartbeat. And if you're still struggling with lots of thoughts and lots of noise, lots of inner dialogue, then just look outside the window and watch the birds. So the animals and the birds and plant life, it's all moving constantly. So as we struggle with our own inner world, it's a good idea to just go for a walk and immerse yourself in the natural world. And another way of working with nature is working with the elements, befriending the elements. So befriending the cold, befriending the snow and the ice, befriending the heat, befriending the wind. So befriending all these primordial natural elements without complaining about the weather. So just noticing with yourself, do you complain about the weather? And if you do, that's fine. Don't beat yourself up about it. But just be aware, oh, that's what I do, I complain about the weather. And part of this practice is about befriending the weather outside and befriending the weather inside. So nature is constantly teaching us. As we're tracking nature, we are tracking the spirit of life. Because the heart that is beating in your own chest is a similar heart that is beating in the chests of the birds outside. So one of my meditations and practices recently has been observing the birds. And I've just moved to Canada and I've been here for over 6 months, and the first thing I had to do was befriend the elements of the cold and the ice, and that was a big job for me. And then the next was actually learning to befriend the animal life around me. So I got a plant feeder, not a plant feeder, sorry, a bird feeder. I had a bird feeder outside in the front and the back of the house. And I just started to observe the birds that are here, which are different from the birds we have back in Africa. So as I did that, as I sent love to the birds and gave an offering of bird seed to them, I noticed how all the bird life just started coming. And then I'd watch them and observe them. And as I was doing this, I was aware that they were also observing me. So I just introduced myself to them. So this is what happens with nature. It's a relationship. The animal life is observing us, and we are observing the animal life. So this practice is a practice of remembering our ancestry, remembering how we were as human beings 100, 200, 300 years ago, our ancestors always had to observe nature because nature outside was their survival. If they didn't pay attention to the natural world outside themselves, then they wouldn't survive. And nowadays we're a bit spoiled because we live in homes and we have wonderful computers and technology, and we kind of forget about the outside world. We forget about nature and the elements running around outside us. But as we remember the elements, as we make it our business to meditate on the wind, to meditate on the thunderstorm and the lightning, to meditate and pay attention to the birds outside our window, as we do this, then we start to remember. Our DNA starts to remember an ancient knowledge of who we are as human beings. So tracking nature outside of us, is a very deep meditation in terms of also tracking and remembering our inner nature. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a meditation for all of us. So wherever you are, I welcome you, and I encourage you just to feel your heartbeat, and we'll do a bit of a meditation while other people join us. So here we go. Just closing your eyes, tuning in, and we'll do a bit of a centering exercise, dropping in to our inner awareness. And I'll just do a gentle invocation, welcoming in our ancestors. Feel free to drop a few emojis there, a few messages so that I know you're there. So I know that everything's working in cyberspace. So send a few messages. That would be great. Okay. So I can see who's there. Here we go. So wherever you are, I welcome you. I welcome Desiree, who's just joined us, and if there's anyone else out there, then just say hello, just so I know that that cyberspace is working and operational. So hello to Desiree from Denmark, and if there's anyone else, welcome. Say a little message so I can see you. Deborah, hello Deborah. Hello Anne, Kathleen, welcome. So sitting up straight, feeling your heartbeat, connecting with your own inner nature, feeling the pulse that's moving through your veins, and know that you are alive for a reason, that you have a purpose, and our work is about connecting with our purpose. So just feeling your heartbeat while I just chant a little bit more and then do a bit of rattling. Hey Mandela. So becoming aware of your own inner life, so you can have your eyes closed and just feeling your inner awareness. And feeling your own heartbeat. So if you can't feel your heartbeat, then you can just clench your wrists a few times and just resting your hands in front of you, and then just soften your wrists and allow your heartbeat to move in front of you. There's a sense of following your heartbeat. And just try that out. Just try that out now. Really centering yourself, bringing some stillness in, concentrating, taking a nice deep breath in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And now following your heartbeat, following it. Have that sense of standing behind your heart, allowing your heart to move in front of you. Because your heart is the engine behind you, and it's your connection to Mother Nature. So as you're connecting with your heart, you're connecting to that primordial, instinctual life stream inside of you. As opposed to a live stream, it's a life stream inside of you. So following the primordial life inside of you, rather than the noise of the computer, which is your own mind, what people call the ego. So following your heart. And then the next thing, just being aware of what's happening inside of you, being aware of your heart beating, being aware of any physical aches or pains, being aware of your bones, being aware of your emotions, maybe feeling a little bit cranky or excited or nervous or whatever they are, just observing them, like observing the clouds in the sky. And then observing your spirit, observing any dreams that you may have had last night, even if it's just a fragment of a dream, it doesn't matter. Just being aware of a dream that you've had from the night before, so that you're connecting to your spirit. And now, asking yourself, how is this going for you? How is this practice going for you? And being very honest with yourself. And if you're struggling, then look outside the window and observe the birds. And just watching the movements of the birds and seeing if you can observe their heartbeat. So I'm very lucky right now. I've got a little robin outside my window that is nesting and is literally outside my window. I could almost touch it. So it's a great opportunity for me to meditate with nature because I can see its heart beating in its neck as it's resting on the eggs. And when it was very hot, there was a heat wave last week, I saw its mouth opening and I noticed it panting, and I noticed how much it was just giving to the moment, just giving to those eggs, giving everything. And I thought for a moment, what would it be like if we meditated like that robin sitting on its eggs and just gave everything with a sense of concentration, a sense of devotion, a sense of complete love, without words, just this complete embodiment of love. Feeling our heartbeat, feeling this energy beneath us, and just giving everything to it. So I reckon if we meditated for even 5 seconds, like that robin sitting on its eggs, we probably wouldn't have the problems we have in the world today. So this other thing with the bird life, when we start to observe the birds, there's a relationship that starts to happen because the birds start to feel our love. They feel us watching them, and then they also watch us. So the other day must have been a few weeks ago, a month ago, I'm not sure, but I remember I was trying to console my little boy. So he was maybe 8 months then, and he was crying as little boys or little babies can do. And I was holding him and consoling him. And then I noticed the birds coming and observing me and him sitting on the branch just outside the window. And they were singing and they were looking at us. And there was a sense of them communicating their concern because he was crying. And this is not unusual. This is nature. So as we start to observe this relationship with nature and we start to see how the outer world is alive and thriving, and then we start to practice with our own inner world, with our own meditation, we start to practice with a little bit more vuma, with a little bit more energy. So it's no problem if you're getting caught up with your emotional world, with the noise inside of you. Don't worry. Just know that it's transient, that it is moving, that it's changing. And if you're struggling with your emotions, if you're struggling with that inner dialogue, with the noise of your life, then just go for a walk. Notice the natural world outside of you. Notice your own heartbeat as a focal point of the live and the life stream inside of you. So the other day, I was seeing a lot of clients. I was hearing a lot of stories. I was hearing a lot of pain. And I felt I need to just go for a walk and connect with nature. And as I was walking, I was just sending a prayer to the clients and the people that I've been working with. And I was just releasing the pain of the suffering through my feet as I was walking on the land. And I got myself into a nice rhythm as I was walking. So that's another thing. As you're walking in nature, obviously leave your phones behind and just let go into the world around you, and feeling your own heartbeat as a focal point, as a metronome behind your practice. And as I was doing this, I went into a little bit of a trance. So this is the thing. When you are walking in a mindful way and listen to your heartbeat and just relaxing with your body, you can go into a very, very gentle trance. And the Tibetan Buddhists speak about this, and the yogis speak about this, and in South Africa it was quite well known amongst the Shaka Zulu, who was a chief, a well-known chief. He used to get his impis or his soldiers to run in a particular way so that they'd go into trance. So it's normal when we walk in a particular way and we're listening to our heartbeats to go into a trance. So this is what I was doing. And I was feeling very relaxed, very euphoric. And the next thing, I saw a blur like in front of me, and it was almost like the whole hedge started moving. And I got a shock, and I almost walked into a fox. And the fox was this wild fox that looked like it's straight out of the Arctic with its big bushy tail. And I don't think it sensed me. And I wondered why. Why didn't it sense me? Because it's pretty wild out here in the prairies. And I thought maybe it didn't sense me because I was relaxed with my walking, and I came upon it quite gently. And anyway, I was quite amazed to see this wild fox right next to me, and it went darting off, and then it stopped and it watched me. And there was this moment of me watching this wild fox, and the two of us just staring at each other. And then I carried on walking for a while, and I turned around, and I watched the fox. The fox was also watching me. So there's this moment of the wild creature looking at me, and me looking at the wild one. And in that moment, there's one wild creature observing another. And that's the moment that we want to get to, where nature inside of us is observing nature outside, and that wilderness, that connection of the wild comes together. And as we come together in these moments, then real magic happens, and our intuition starts to surface, and then our dream life starts to get activated. So what happened to me after that? Well, I went home, I went to sleep, and then I got some very powerful dreams. So this is the practice. This is the practice that I'm teaching, the practice of rewilding, of tracking nature outside of us to track our own inner spirit. And I'm just doing this with some stories to make it alive for you. So I'm going to play my drum now, as I do with my uMoya hour. And again, this drum is dedicated to my young sangoma friend who's had his house badly damaged by a thunderstorm. And this live stream today is dedicated to him. It's a fundraiser. So please be generous and give from your heart, knowing that it's going to help someone at the other side of the world in South Africa who has had his house damaged, almost completely destroyed by a natural disaster, by a thunderstorm. And this is about nature, and this is about supporting each other. And as my friend downloads and supports and helps me connecting to these old ways, then I pass this knowledge on to you. And as I've mentioned in my write-up, my young friend is a descendant of one of the most famous prophets in the Xhosa nation. And it's an honor to be able to help him. And it's a blessing to be able to help him and keep these ancient ways alive for all of us. Okay, so I'm just going to play my drum. And as I'm playing my drum, I want you to feel your own heartbeat and allow yourself to settle inside your bones. Allow yourself to settle inside your heart. And if you have the noise of modern life, don't worry. Welcome to the human world. Welcome to life. Just be calm and breathe deeply. And then when it's your time to open your eyes and go for a walk, observe the wild ones around you. Observe the birds, the foxes, the geese, the wild creatures, and allow them to teach you. Be open to the wild ones teaching you. Okay, so I'm just going to switch my mics over and play my drum. So here we go. Here we go. Know that this is a trance rhythm that I'm playing, and it's there to help wake us up. Feeling your spine, feeling your bones, sitting upright. And here we go. Yabazali bamu bamu, yabazali bamu bamu, yabazali bamu bamu, yabazali bam, yabazali bam. Tamagunya manyangi, tamagu manyangi, tamagu manyangi. Tamagu amnyangi, tamagu amnyangi, tamagu amnyangi, tamagu amnyangi, Tamaku Aminyangi, Tiklawam, Tiklawam, outside. When I play my drum and I sing to them, they respond. So feeling your breath, feeling your heart, feeling the visions inside of you, feeling your connection to life. And now I welcome any questions that you may have around this practice, any simple questions, just send it in the chat and I'll do my best to respond. Thank you. Let's see if there's any questions. And it's nice to meet all of you. Thank you for taking part in this live stream. And just to let everyone know that I'm going to be doing a one-day workshop with the College of Psychic Studies tomorrow on Saturday, and it's on animal communication, communicating with the animal world, and it's going a little bit deeper than what I'm doing today, and it's going to be a 4-hour workshop. A 4-hour workshop to teach people how to communicate with the animal world, how to communicate with the bear people, with the lion people, with the cat and dog people, with the bird people, and just passing on some simple ways of starting a communication with the animal world. So you're very welcome to take part, and all the information is on my website. So just waiting to see if there's any questions. And so any questions on this practice? So one of the most important things is with this practice of nature is to not take yourself too seriously. As we watch the birds and we see the way they are interacting, we notice that even the birds quarrel, even the birds have arguments with one another. But then there's also this incredible compassion and this togetherness and this helping spirit. So that's always wonderful when you're watching the birds. You see them quarreling and fighting and having arguments with each other. And then yesterday I was noticing how there was this one little bird and all the other birds were going and giving him or giving her maybe some seed or something. And I think it was a baby bird, and all the others, they just came and just gave it something, and then it flew off. It wasn't just its mother and father, it was a whole lot of birds doing it. And it was amazing to see this reciprocity and this community with the birds. And I just hope and pray human beings can learn that lesson of cooperation that the animal world is teaching us. Okay. So when someone asks me what birds am I speaking of, okay, there's all different birds, the robins, the sparrows, but I don't want to get into particulars about what kind of birds, because all birds respond in a similar way, and depending on where you are in the world. And this practice is about befriending the wild ones wherever you are. So if they're just doves, if they pigeons in Central Park in London, if they pigeons or in New York, it doesn't matter what kind of bird. It's the wild ones. It's the creatures outside ourselves that are surviving without the luxury of going to Starbucks or going to McDonald's. They are surviving as independent entities connected to Mother Nature. So these are the wild ones, and these are our teachers. If we allow them to be our teachers, then they can teach us how to connect to spirit and how to connect to nature. So I'm coming to the end of today's live stream, and I thank you all for joining. And again, I just want to mention that this is a fundraiser for my beautiful sangoma friend who had his life damaged, his home damaged by a storm. And I just encourage you to donate. And I've given the donation information there. And I'm going to give it on Facebook here again. And yeah, please donate. Help us to help one of our brothers on the other end of the world, because that's what this work is about. That's what we learn from the wild ones. Reciprocity, Ubuntu, helping spirit. So thank you all for joining today. And if you would like to work more with animals and with animal communication, I will be doing a workshop with the College of Psychic Studies tomorrow. So I wish you well, and I thank you for taking part in today's live stream. And you're welcome to share the recording from today with your friends and family members to help them to remember how to connect to Mother Nature. So please like me on Facebook and on YouTube and help spread this message of rewilding ourselves so that we can help this world, so that we can help the creatures, the animals and plants of Mother Earth. Because nature is watching us right now. The plants and animal worlds are watching us right now. And in order for us to wake up, it's good for us to meditate on them and watch them and learn from them. So thank you very much for taking part today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again at one of my live streams. Thank you.